Good morning. Just the one play for me yesterday, and that was successful. But an under par Bodo Glimt, despite doing everything. Just that single goal yesterday, laid the draw second half, and you've got a massive swing in the odds with an 87th minute winner. So very much contrasting with the goal fest of the match before, where they scored 2 first half goals disallowed and scored 2 second half goals, which were allowed. Fredrikstad, obviously, parking that dinosaur, old Fred Flintstone, parking the dinosaur in front of the goal. Took a while, but they got there in the end. A massive 18, 19 shots off target. Only 1 shot on target second half. So a very under par performance from Bodo Glimt, but they got the 3 points done. Utterly dominant. Elsewhere, no other trading angles for me, really, with the Champions League. Norway and Italy, 2.63 the favourite. Could be anything, couldn't it? The Italians scoring 2 goals for the first time this tournament. Did they score it in extra time or in full time? This is a kind of an England tactic. You suddenly start scoring 2+ goals when it matters out of the group stages. So very good performance from Italy, considering too that Norway's goal was a penalty. So that's the typical defensively led Italians. Today, again, there's no research I can pass on to you for these Europa League qualifiers and these Conference League qualifiers. Absolutely no research at all pre-match. Doesn't work. In-play stats is where it's at. And we'll have the same position as we had yesterday. 5 o'clock start from me, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock start. And just follow the in-play stats. We've got a few in-play stats. We've got a few odds-on favourites, rather. So Europa League, first or second legs. These are second legs. So we'll have the first leg results. These matches were played, the first legs, back on the 10th. So what you can do, have a look at the first leg results. To use Soccer 24, head on back to the 10th. We can just have a quick look through now, get an idea, comparing it to today's matches. We can get a fair indicator of who needs what. So Aktobe and Legia Warsaw, 1-0 lead for Legia from the first leg, and they are odds on away from home. But Aktobe from Kazakhstan are still involved in this, but surely, logic suggests an Extraclasa league is a lot tighter than a Kazakhstani league. Ilves and Shakhtar Donetsk, 6-0 lead for Shakhtar from the start. So it's not a must-win, is it, by any stretch of the imagination? Ilves might have a chance if Shakhtar consent to lose, but lose within that 6-0 boundary. Häcken and Trnava, 1-0 lead for Häcken from the first leg, and they are odds on today at home, the Swedes. We know them from the Allsvenskan, that's the word I was trying to get out there. Cluj and Pax, it's a 0-0 from the first leg, so it's all to play for. The market is strongly favouring the Romanian side, Cluj, at home at 1.4. Do watch out for that, because certainly 0-0 from the first leg deserves a little bit of respect for Pax from Hungary. Celje and Sabah Baku. It's a 2-3 lead for Celje from the first leg. 1.8 favourite they are today. That looks for both teams to score, doesn't it? It's a kind of match either team could win. Hapoel Beersheva and Levski Sofia. It's a 0-0 from the first leg. Red-carded match as well. Plenty to play for. All hail to the ale. The Beer are favourite. Just check whether they are actually playing at home, given the conflict. I don't know where Shaver is, or Beersheva is in Israel. Pristina and Sheriff Tiraspol. Let's have a look. Sheriff Tiraspol, 4-0 lead from the first leg. That's why they're 2.2 the favourite today against Pristina. They don't need to win. The market could expect something like a 2-0 Pristina win today. But as long as it keeps within Sheriff's 4-goal tally. Partizan and AEK, 1-0 lead for AEK Larnaca. 2.15 away favourites today against Partizan from Serbia. But again, it's such a slender lead. anything could happen. Conference League is busy, busy, busy. So we can have a look at some of the first leg score lines there. It's not in the order it is today, so let me have a quick look. Daugavpils. So 1-0 lead for Daugavpils. And already you've got the expectation with a 1.67 away favourite that they will equalise. So you've got a nice trading angle there, potential. They fancy the Albanians, the market, and they've got a 1-0 deficit to get back. So that's a good angle in. 2-0 lead for Dilgora against Racing Luxembourg from the first leg, and the market expects the Georgian side with 1.57 home favouritism to get the job done over 2 legs. But it was both teams to score in the first leg in that particular match. Do watch out for that. This was a shock of the first leg. FC Santa Coloma at odds of 14-1, winning 1-4 against Borac Banja Luka. Normally there'd be a red card involved with a scoreline like this, but no. So that is a real potential play today. Why were Borac Banja Luka 1.13 favourites losing 4-1? They're 1.75 favourites today, Borac Banja Luka, because Santa Coloma have that 3-goal cushion. But if you're thinking, did the market get it right in the first leg? Then Borac Banja Luka's 1.75 could be really good value. They might go on and win this. There is a 3-goal cushion for the Andorran side. Borac could go on and win 0-2. But those odds look very good, don't they, under the circumstances for a second leg match. 3-0 lead for Valor from the first leg was via expectation. 1.29 favourites they were in the first leg. So Flora have it all to do from Estonia against Valor. It's yet another case of a team who don't need to win despite being the better side, i.e. Valor. Could be plenty going on in that particular match with Flora needing to win and not priced out of it. Hagelman, the philosopher playing St. Pat's. I think it's a 1-0 lead for St. Pat's from the first leg. So plenty for them to ponder in what has been a very, very poor showing in the Irish Premier Division as far as goals is concerned from St. Pat's. HJK Helsinki are playing the Faroe Islanders, Runavik. Let's have a look at the first leg score there. I would have expected HJK to have got that first leg scoreline, but we will see. It was a 4-0 win for Runavik from the first leg. That's a 3.25 outsider. Runavik from the Faroe Islands winning, but this was a red card affected match. So there is plenty of scope today. Runavik took the lead 1-0 and Finland were red carded in the 23rd minute. Runavik scored a 35th minute goal and then followed up late on with a couple more. So again, if you're using the first legs as a catapult today, HJK v Runavik, could be plenty going on there. They need to score 5 goals, HJK. Why don't you start with any unquoted or over 4.5 goals as a potential play, better value than 1.33, particularly if it's 0-0 after 10-15 minutes. Plenty to go on for HJK. That's the kind of shift you want to see. We know the result from the first leg was down to 10 men. Ordabassi, or Shirley, as he's known to his friends, playing Torpedo Kutaisi. Let's have a look. Ordabassi and Torpedo Kutaisi. What was the scoreline like back on the 10th? So we'll get Ordabassi up there. 4-3 scoreline from the first leg. 2.15 the favourite. So automatically we've got a both teams to score element here, don't we? With this Ordabassi, Torpedo Kutaisi. Ordabassi the favourite today. We're going to potentially expect both teams scoring and a very competitive affair. Punic Yerevan against Tre Fiori. Let's have a look. It's a 3-0 lead. No, that's Fioretta. Let's have a look at Fiori. It's a 1-0 lead for Tre Fiori from the first leg, and yet again, a 14-1 outsider winning in the first leg against Punic Yerevan. So a couple of 1.13 outsiders, 15-1 outsiders winning. So Punic Yerevan against Tre Fiori, the market is not taken by that at all. 1.05 Punic Yerevan today. Well, value seekers would be backing Tre Fiore or backing 0-0 pre-match. 1-0 lead, Tre Fiore, San Marino. It's going to be very, very slim indeed for them. 3-0 Zordino lead from the first leg against Rabotnicki, and the market still favours Zordino today, 1.75 outsiders. Peda against Magpies. It's not the Magpies, it's the Gibraltar version of the Magpies. Let's take a look. 2-3 lead for Peda from Estonia. 1.5 favourites pre-match, still conceding 2 goals in the first leg. So that suggests to me that the market's not quite got a handle on this one. And it's open it with a chance, Magpies today at 7-1 outsiders. If they score 2 goals in the first leg, they did have home advantage. Estonians, not really known for their pitches. That could be a good leveller today. It's only a goal. 1.22 is far too dismissive of the Magpies after their 2 goals in the first leg. Let's have a look at Dudelange against Athletic Escaldes. How did Dudelange get on in the first leg from Luxembourg? 2-0 lead for Escaldes in a 2.55 the favourite match in the first leg. So all to play for. Dudelange are fancied to get back into this at 1.62 at home. Haverfordwest from Wales are playing Floriana. Let's have a look at that one. Haverford. Let's have a look. Haverfordwest. Maybe look under West. No. Let's just have a quick look for them. Well, that's a 1-2 from the first leg, so it's still wide open. There's only a goal in it. The Welsh side Pennybont are out as well against Kaunu Zalgiris, 1.53 favourites Zalgiris. 3-0 lead for Zalgiris in a red card affected match. So do pay attention to that today. Pennybont, are they going to give a little bit more than we expect with 11v11? Petrocub against Birka Kira, 1.62 home favourites. Petrocub. How did they do in the first leg? Well, they were a goal down to Birka Kira in the first leg, Petrocub. So plenty for them to play for today in a wide open affair. Petrocub. Favoured as well at 1.62 to get back on parity. Silex against Dekik. A 2-0 lead for Dekik, again in a red-carded match. So Silex priced at 2.05 to potentially get back on this. So this is another one worth looking at. I do like looking at first half angles as a way in for these second half angles. If you marry it in with the market as well, that's why I'm starring a few of these matches for me to look at a little bit later. Koper from Slovenia or Slovakia. Let's have a look at their first leg results. Koper 1-1 from the first leg. So all to play for in this second leg. Koper and unpronounceable name. Evans favourite at home, but it's pretty much even Stevens coming into this. I don't think there are any away goal rules anymore. Neyman against Uratu. And again, another red card affected match in the Conference League. Quite a few red cards in the first leg. It's 1-2 to Neyman from Bulgaria with Uratu red carded. And Neyman are Evans favourite today. But with 11v11, you might see a more competitive Uratu. We didn't actually get to see the proper team, did we, in the first leg? Partizan. I think they're from Partizani. So they're not Partizan Belgrade. Partizani against Kalju from Estonia. 1.65 home favourites against Kalju. It was 1-1 from the first leg. Partizani were 2.1 favourites in that particular match. This one is absolutely wide open. It's a draw coming in, and the market is strongly favouring the home side at 1.65. So that gives you an angle in. Dinamo Brest, well-known side, playing Sucheska. How did they get on in the first leg? Brest. 2-1 lead from the first leg for them at 1.91 favourites in the first leg. Second leg, they're 1.75 favourites. So we could expect a possible both teams to score element in today. The first leg's anything to go by. Cliftonville from Northern Ireland are playing St Joseph's from Gibraltar in a 2.5, the favourite match already. You should be learning. 2.5, the favourite, suggests all sorts of unreadability today. Who were they? Cliftonville. Yeah. Oh, I've missed the F. You don't want to miss the F when you're writing Cliftonville. I can't seem to find them, so let me just pause. Cliftonville match is 2-2 from the first leg, so it's all to play for. We would be expecting both teams to score today. Possibility of a goal before half-time if this continues. Northern Ireland against Gibraltar. That one, Cliftonville, St Joseph's, all to play for. Klaksvik against the Faroe Islands against SJK from Finland. I would have expected the Finnish Veikkausliiga side to be the strongest side, but no, the market's favouring Klaksvik today against SJK. How did they get on in their first legs? Let's see if we can find it. It was a 1-2 win for Klaksvik in the first leg, where SJK were the 2.1 favourites. So, due deference to the market, I would have expected a Veikkausliiga side to be more competitive than a Faroe Island side, but the market's not agreeing with me. Klaksvik favourite today against SJK, who we know well from the Veikkausliiga, having a decent enough season. Vikingur Reykjavik, 1.22, home favourite today. Reykjavik. Just trying to look for Reykjavik. R-E-Y. That should be standout. Should take me straight to them. 1-0 lead for Vikingur Reykjavik from the first leg. 1.83 away side they were against the Kosovan side, Malisheva. With that in mind, look at today's odds. 1.22 home favourites. So they're obviously expecting an absolute avalanche of goals from the home side. There's only a 1-goal deficit, so that could indicate that they're looking to add to that tally. La Fioretta against Vardar is the last match in the Conference League. Let's have a look at Vardar. Old Jamie. 3-0 lead for Vardar from the first leg. They were 1.14 favourites. So it's a comfortable lead for Vardar. They're 1.42 away favourites. They're playing a San Marino side. So it's a comfortable lead. They don't need to win today. Plenty of matches in the Conference League with those angles from the first leg for us to look at. So I would be looking at this with interest from 5 o'clock onwards for members of Football Trading Profits today. Sweden women against the English women. Let's have a look at the results coming in to this. This is, I think, a top 6 clash in the FIFA World Rankings, so just be very careful. It's going to be a competitive affair today. Looking at the Euros in isolation for the Swedes, it's an exceptional run. Denmark ladies 1-0 win, Polish ladies 3-0 win, and the icing on the cake, an absolutely emphatic 4-0 win over the German ladies, who themselves are, I think, top 11. An absolutely superb result, but they're top 11, the German ladies. England, I think, top 5. It's a world of difference, even though there's 6 positions separating them. English ladies took a while to get going against Les Frogs. That could be something to worry them today, because French ladies are similarly ranked to the Swedish ladies. And they lost 2-1 to them in the first leg. An emphatic win against the Netherlands ladies, 4-0. That was out of nowhere. Wasn't expected in the head-to-heads, but that makes it 10 goals in 2 matches. 1.05 favourites against the Welsh ladies. 6 goals was expected from the English, and they did the fine job. So it's very difficult for us to gauge this one. It's a quarter-final. The market's having difficulty as well. England marginal favourites at 2.15. When these two met in the 2024, it looks like a defensively led match, 1-1 and 0-0. So just be careful with that head-to-head 0-0. All to play for. I can't give you any angles in. Just note, England are playing a top 6 side, and they did lose to the French 2-1, and they are a top 10 side. That's a potential Achilles heel for the English, but 10 goals in 2 matches, 7 goals in 2 matches for the Swedes. Well, is this going to be a 0-0 snore fest like the last head-to-head? I don't know. Sorry to be so non-committal, but you've got to be honest. It's a derby-style match. It's a quarter-final. Tactics going to play a huge part. But it's going to be worth watching if you're an England ladies fan. That's it for today. Plenty of potential. I can't really give you those pre-match angles. Suffice to say that it's far preferable to play second legs than it is to play first legs, because you've got that all-important angle in. I will see members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram from 5 o'clock. We got a nice simple Bodo Glimt play yesterday. We can keep the profits rolling. I'm on a good winning run at the moment. I hope to continue that sequence this evening. So I'll see members from 5 o'clock onwards. Have a great day.